America's Voice family.
Are you on Getter yet? No?
What are you waiting for?
It's free.
It's uncensored.
And it's where all the biggest voices in conservative media are speaking out.
Download the Getter app right now. It's totally free. It's where I put up exclusively all of my content 24 hours a day. You want to know what Steve Bannon's thinking? Go to Getter.
That's right. You can follow all of your favorites. Steve Bannon, Charlie Kirk, Jack Posobiec.
And so many more.
And the best part?
You can watch Real America's Voice right there on Getter.
Live.
So join the conversation.
Hop on the Getter chat room.
Engage with patriots who are just like you.
Good morning, Getter friends.
We're breaking news, we're delivering the truth,
And we're doing it on Getter
Every single day.
So don't wait. Download the Getter app now.
Sign up for free and be part of the movement.
It isn't just an app. It isn't just a social media platform. It's a community.
Here we go. Came right out to us this time. Yeah, look at that. 12 seconds of the intro, huh? What's going on here, controller? All right, folks, welcome back. Happy Tuesday, April Fool's Day, by the way. I don't know. I'm trying not to be foolish today. We have a fantastic show for you today, starting with Florida's 19th Congressional District Congressman Byron Donalds, who will be running for governor of the state of Florida, this great state, the freest, most amazing state of Florida in 2026. Thank you for joining us, Congressman. Really good to have you, my friend. We'll get to the governor's race in just a second, sir. Can we just weigh in your thoughts on Florida 1 and Florida 6, which are being decided as we speak right now, with Gates's and Mike Walz's seats being replaced? Jimmy Petronis looks like it's a very strong, likely going to be a strong win in Florida 1. Florida 6, your thoughts on both of those, specifically Florida 6?
Well, look, I think Randy Fine in Florida District 6 is going to win. It's really about Republicans turning out to vote. That's where we are right now. Voting returns have been good today. Every Republican, make sure you get to the polls if you live in CD6. At the end of the day, you have Randy Fine, somebody I came into the Florida House with in 2016. Before the interviews, before the speeches, before any of that, Randy Fine was somebody who stood for conservative principles. He fought for the same things that we believe in the America First movement. He is supported by Donald Trump, and he has supported Donald Trump. And he's running against a radical liberal, somebody that Bernie Sanders supports and endorses, somebody the squad wants to see, somebody Hakeem Jeffries wants in Congress. And the entire purpose is to undermine the agenda of Donald Trump. This is not even a close call in Florida Congressional District 6. Make sure you turn out and vote. Vote for Randy Fine. Donald Trump needs every vote possible in the House of Representatives.
Indeed.
And I'm telling you, I've served with Randy. Randy's going to do a great job.
Indeed, I agree with you. And that knucklehead Karl Rove over on Fox saying, well, if he doesn't win by 30, like Trump did in the district, it's showing some sort of weakness in the MAGA effort. That is just nonsense, Karl Rove. I just thought I'd put it, on the line right here. You're welcome to weigh in on that. If you don't want to, sir, we'll move on to your.
I'm a weigh in, and here's why. Because that kind of analysis really is sophomoric. It's not about margins in special elections. It's about victory. Victory is the only thing that matters. We got the Final Four tipping off this weekend. Each number one team made it to the Final Four. You think they're going back and wondering why they only won by 2 points in the case of Florida? I think it was back in the second round, or why they won by 8 points, or whether they won by 20 points. When you're dealing in special elections, it's about victory, first, second, and third. So every Republican, especially every elected Republican in our state, the mission is clear. Do everything you can to make sure voters get to the polls so Randy Fine wins in that district. I think he's going to win tonight. I think, quite frankly, it's not going to be close, but it doesn't matter because we don't have a presidential level turnout in special elections. That's not the way you look at this thing. And also the Democrats, obviously they're motivated because they just got beat down badly in November. So of course they're upset. Of course they're motivated. That doesn't mean mean we take our eye off the ball. Republicans, get out and vote.
I love that we, I'll do it. I lump Karl Rove in with Democrats because he might, as rhino as he is, he might as well be a Democrat or a liberal. Governor's race, game this out for us. You've been endorsed by Donald Trump. There are others who've been talking about possibly running. Casey DeSantis is one of them. Is Matt Gaetz going to run? Your thoughts on any of this and how this is playing out? From this perspective, it's yours to lose, sir.
Well, look, my focus is on the people of Florida and the policy ideas to take Florida to the next level. We've had great leadership in our state. That's why Florida has gotten to the place that we are in. But now it's time to figure out what are going to be the things that we have to fix going forward. I think the difference between me and some other people who might be thinking about it is I spent 17 years in the financial industry. I don't have to wait for lobbyists or staffers to come and tell me about economic policy and what it means for the future of our state. We have an insurance crisis. We got to fix it. We have transportation issues that we need to make sure we get our hands around because everybody's coming to Florida. It's a wonderful thing, but we need to expand our road structure. Florida should become, and under my governorship, it will become the financial capital of the world. That's going to be the mission set.
I love this.
And then also it's about making sure kids in K-12 education get a world-class education so they are prepared for the leadership roles, the entrepreneurial roles, and the economic roles of leading our state and the country into the future.
I love you making Florida the financial capital of the world. Coming from New York for 40 years, it really should be down here. This is the freest state, the most friendly business environment, certainly of any state I've ever seen. Sir, before I let you go, one of the knuckleheads across the aisle, your counterparts on the Democrat side, is bubbling up a lot, Jasmine Crockett, who had some really awful things to say. No offense. I hope this is all right with you, about yourself and your lovely wife, Erica. Take a listen.
And if we continue to put people into office, and that even means some of our skinfolk who definitely are not our kinfolk, such as Byron Donalds, who are going to continue to say that, like, I mean, the fact that you sitting around talking about life was better under Jim Crow, like, is this because you don't understand history? Or literally it's because you married a white woman and so you think that whitewashed you. I'm not really sure like what it is.
Well,
but
you
I
couldn't even be married to a white woman under Jim
Correct.
Crow.
Correct. And it took Joy to call him out. So I'm like, bro, like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you saying? Like, he just out here, you know, I feel like they give him his talking points and he's like, yes, master, I got it.
So Congressman, what do you say to a fellow African-American who says you're skin folk but not kinfolk and you shouldn't be in elected office because you married a white woman?
First of all, I'm tired of that BS. First and foremost, it got nothing to do with my wife. Let's just put that right out in the open. They're mad because I'm a conservative Republican and I'm not a Democrat who believes in crazy liberal policy. If I believed in crazy liberal policy, which I do not, then they would be singing my praises. And they wouldn't care that my wife is white. Kamala Harris, her husband's white. Ketanji Brown Jackson, her husband's white. They not say anything about those two dudes or the fact that they married white men because they follow Democratic liberal ideology. Second thing, to Jasmine herself. Jasmine, last year, you and I were supposed to be debating on several different stages. You canceled. I don't know what's going on in your schedule. That's your personal business. But if you want to flush this out, I'm not hard to find. Pick the show, pick the place. I'll be there. I'm unafraid. I basically go anywhere. We do this. Number three, last and not least. Nobody tells me what to say. I don't use talking points. When somebody asks me a question, you basically know how I feel about it because I'm telling you right then and there. If you're concerned about what my viewpoints are very clear because you could Google me because I know I have plenty of media interviews at this point. So I would just say that back to my colleague from Texas. Don't be concerned about my marriage. Be concerned about the fact that your party lost because your policies are awful. The American people rejected it. And if you want to debate those policy constructs, come find me. We will do it anywhere, any place, anytime.
We're going to leave it right there. I don't think there's a better way to button that segment up. I appreciate your time. Byron Donalds, Congressman from Florida, and potentially the next governor of this great state of Florida. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. My next guest is the current chief financial officer of this great state of Florida, who's running to replace the seat left by U.S. Representative Matt Gaetz in Congressional District Number 1, Florida 1. Welcome, Jimmy Patronis. Jimmy, really good to have you on, my friend. Your returns sound really good. What's the inside scoop? What's your internal polling telling you?
Well, one, I just got a compliment. I love your shirt. That is so awesome. Right now, we're having a successful day. Republicans are showing up to vote. We are outpacing the Democrats. We're expecting somewhere just today somewhere to the tune of probably about 75,000 votes cast, possibly about 150,000 for the entire election cycle. We're in Pensacola today.
What about Congressional 6? Randy Fine, how's he doing? A lot of, I talked to Congressman Donalds. Karl Rove is claiming that if you don't win by 37, where Trump won by 37 in your district, or 30 in Florida 6, where he won by 30, if Randy Fine doesn't, even if he wins, it's going to be some sort of loss to a rhino like Karl Rove. What do you say to those folks?
Look, the Democrats in this race in Northwest Florida, I'm going to be outspent 6-1. Randy's going to probably be outspent 8-1. So when you're spending that much money, you're going to have a challenge getting the type of voter engagement you'd like to have. And I tell people, elections have seasons, and the season to vote is in November, not in April. On top of it, it's April Fool's Day. So people are focused on other things. There's a lot of people still on spring break right now. So they'll be, not as much of a showing as is a typical cycle, but Randy, not to make a joke, Randy's going to do just fine.
Yep. Bigger picture. You're going to win. Looks like you're going to win handily. Lock it down. What are you bringing to Congress, Jimmy? Because I've known you a long time. You're one of the smartest, most shrewd financial people. Probably you will be in Congress as well. I love when you said to the woke folks over at BlackRock and whatnot, you're not going to be welcome in the state of Florida in our pension funds if you continue the woke garbage, and it really worked. Tell us what you're going to bring to Congress.
Yeah, my dad always said, if you want to get somebody's attention, you get into their pocketbook. So the great thing about it is we've seen some momentum. You've seen companies abandon their woke and DEI policies and ESG policies. But again, you've had an administration that's been run by a bunch of inmates over the last 4 years. They have been dictating to corporate America what they're going to do without even firing a single shot or passing a law. So I'm glad that we're starting to call them out. We're moving the needle. And this is why, I know President Trump is moving so fast, but we've got to. We have got to save this country. We've got to work as hard, as fast as possible. And I can't wait to get victory out of the way tonight and get to Washington first thing tomorrow morning.
Yeah, interesting, though. Florida, a very free state. DeSantis has done a wonderful job. I just love, since I've moved down here, what a great governor he's been. Is Florida becoming the, let's call it, conservative capital of politics in America?
Look, I tell people it's not a sprint, it's a march. We've had to work on it every single day. I'm very proud to tell people the Florida economy right now, the state of Florida, is in the best fiscal health we've ever been in the history of the state. But look, it started with Rick Scott. Rick Scott said, stop with the madness financially. And then he gave the set of keys over to Ron DeSantis of a beautifully run business called the state of Florida. And Ron DeSantis continued this pathway of making this place such an incredible destination. Last year alone, 400,000 new net Floridians. We grew from 2020 to now. We had a deficit in registered Republicans. We were short 200,000 registered Republicans in 2020. Now we got 1.3 million registered Republicans.
Where they come from?
Democrats.
Jimmy, where they come from? Where did the 1.5 million new Republicans come from? They come from other states during COVID, perhaps, and realize they just want to come to Florida. It's a safe and free place. Or did you flip Democrats to Republican? Where did those folks come from?
All the above. I mean, just last month, we flipped Hillsborough County. That's Tampa. We flipped it where Hillsborough County is primarily registered Republican now. I mean, you've got about 5 counties left out of the 67 that are still Democratic counties. We're going to flip Miami-Dade, and next after that will be Palm Beach County and Duval County.
That's big. There's a lot of New York contingency down here in Palm Beach County and Miami-Dade. That's like the 5th and 6th suburb borough of New York, as they say. Jimmy, I don't think I'm premature in saying this. Congratulations on the win, folks. I 99.9% believe you are right now looking at your next U.S. Congressman from the state of Florida. Jimmy, congratulations, my friend.
Eric, thank you for keeping us accountable. I love you, brother. See you soon.
You too, brother. Stay safe. All right, folks, that's it for us for now for the state of Florida. We have so much more. You ready for this? We have Glenn Beck coming up after the break, who's got a lot to say about DOGE, a lot to say about Social Security, immigration. Glenn's next. So New London, Connecticut, I think for a long time our military built subs and nuclear subs in New London, Connecticut. Nice little shot of New London. You know, it's my distinct honor and my pleasure to bring in an old friend, a guy who I go way back with. In fact, when I first started at Fox News in around 2007 or so, this guy was the first one who said, you know what, come on in. You host my show when I'm on vacation. It was my first step into the big time realm of big time television. Mr. Glenn Beck, welcome, my friend. Really good to have you on Bolling for the first time. And what
it is
big shoes to fill. Those were, sir. Go ahead. I apologize.
Well, thank you. No. It's good to see you. And I mean, apparently I was drunk back then when I said that. Just, you just fill in for me here. Come on. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought you were big time ever since I met you. I think you're a real talented guy.
Fox brought me over to start their business network because I came from CNBC. And early on, Roger said, you're a libertarian. We got a guy named Glenn Beck who's a libertarian too. It'd be pretty cool if you filled in for him when he was on vacation. I said, oh yeah. Oh, hell yeah. And I'll never forget, one of the most surreal moments of my entire life was 3, 2, 1 Beck, if you remember. That's how you opened our shows. You had to look at the jib. You had to look down at the jib. It was just, it gives me chills thinking about those days. I owe a lot to you, Glenn Beck. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Glenn, one of the things that's bubbling up over the last 24 hours or so, let's play the soundbite of this social. The Doge has found, Elon Musk and a couple of his partners of Doge have found that millions of illegals have been on Social Security, at actual Social Security numbers. Take a listen to this.
This is what jumped out at us. When we saw these numbers, we were like, what is this? In 21, you see 270,000 people, goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24. These are non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers.
Yeah, this is a mind-blowing chart.
Yeah, just this literally blew us away. Like, we went there to find fraud, and we found this by accident. And this isn't political, by the way. My parents are immigrants. This country's been great to us. My brother and sister all born in Spain. I'm pro-legal immigration. This is not political. This is not political. This is about America and the future of America.
Man, Glenn, it is absolutely scary what they're finding, and the Democrats still are pushing back on all the things. Those, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand people who are pushing back on this stuff. I mean, how is this right in any way? I heard somebody explain, well, they're actually, these people are paying into Social Security, but they're not going to get any benefits. Well, first of all, I don't know if that's true. But second of all, wait a minute. So you're then, because you're ripping one of us off then. You're either ripping us off or you're ripping off the people that are here illegally and you're making them pay into a system that they're never going to get. I mean, it's wrong either way you look at it. And I don't understand this world where we pick sides based on who the first one is to say it. You know what I mean? Did Donald Trump say it or did Joe Biden say it? Well, because I got to know, because that way I know which side I'm on. No, there are guiding principles, and this is wrong no matter who you voted for. And I don't get this world that the Democrats are living in, where they're just against whatever Donald Trump is for or anything that Elon Musk is doing, when it's a lot of the stuff that they championed. Help me out.
Yeah, no, I can't. And I've used the analogy on the show a lot. If Trump came out and said, I love oxygen, and Elon Musk says, we're going to look for all the waste of oxygen, Democrats would be like, no, we're against oxygen. We hate we don't want any part of oxygen.
It's true.
It's a literal derangement syndrome. And now it's just two of them. There's Tesla derangement syndrome and Trump derangement syndrome. I'm not sure which one is worse.
the Tesla is really dangerous. I mean, look, the Trump derangement led to people cheering, when he was shot. But the Tesla stuff is now making them not just mere spectators. It's taking people and putting them into situations to where they're actual terrorists now. You set a car on fire, you try to torch a Tesla dealership. That's terrorism. Mm-hmm. You're trying to move politics, make a political point, and move people in your direction by using fear and intimidation. That's the definition of terrorism. And people don't see it that way, and they need to start seeing that way. And I'd like to know, when is Pam Bondi going to show up? When is she going to show up to work? And when are we going to start seeing people in handcuffs being made examples of? This is wrong. And it would be wrong if, I wasn't a big fan of Elon Musk when all he was talking about was the planet. We got to get off the planet, because we're all going to be dead by 2030. I don't agree with him on that, but I never was against him. I don't understand why all of a sudden you can be for the guy who did more for the planet and your cause than any other human alive. But once and it's not even Donald Trump, once he backs free speech, once he says everyone should be allowed to have their opinion, you go bat crap crazy.
Well, Glenn, give them credit, these lunatics on the left who are going bat crap crazy, because they didn't exactly do it as soon as he was for free speech. They kind of got wary of him, and they realized MAGA was forced free speech, and they jumped in. But when Elon Musk, after Trump was almost assassinated, Elon Musk jumped on board, started helping Trump, win an election. That's when they went exactly what you're saying. Bad crap crazy, reversing the hypocrisy is so rich here, reversing everything they loved about him and Tesla's, decades into like we had him now.
They didn't like it when he took over Twitter because of his point of view. Right. Then they tried to hit him overseas. Then they tried to hit him in Brazil. Then he joined Trump, and then it was just over. Then it became Elon Musk derangement syndrome. Yep. It is an illness. It is truly, there is we're watching half our nation go through some psychosis, some really deep mental issue that I don't know how to reach yet.
Watch this. Watch this. Play that soundbite of the Tesla, one of the Tesla, I guess they call it protest, but take a look. And there's another one where a bunch of dudes are wearing Teslas that are on fire costumes. I mean, it's crazy. They've lost their mind.
I was up last night. I couldn't sleep, and I was thinking about this last night because I was going to talk about it on radio, and I thought, I got to go back and look in history. When was the last time, if ever, you had people protesting in the streets globally? You had people all over the world protesting something that somebody in America was doing. Now, not nuclear weapons, not calling for war, not even the tariffs. They're not even protesting the tariffs. But somehow or another, you're getting people in Sweden and Germany and Ireland to come out and protest against Elon Musk for some bureaucratic stuff that is never going to affect them at all because it's just about the American budget. How has that happened? There's no way that's grassroots. That's never, ever happened before. These people are useful idiots. That's all it is. They have no idea how they are being used. For what? Yeah. For what?
And by
they claim he's a fascist, and not the guy who's saying, I'm going to provide the platform for you to speak.
Right. And by whom? Who's supporting all these little protesters when they instead of working? Glenn, do me a favor. We'd love to have you stick around. Real quick break, 2.5 minutes, and we'll come right back with Glenn Beck.
You got it.
All right, we're back with the great Glenn Beck. Glenn, you mentioned something in that last block. These lunatics, these Trump and Tesla derangement syndrome victims, aren't even complaining about the tariffs. I contend that they've got too much other stuff to complain about right now. They'll get around to the tariffs. Right. Here's my question. You and I are both libertarians. I'm on record saying I'm against this whole tariff thing. And, MAGA world doesn't like it when I say it, but I am. Everyone says trust Donald, which I do. I think he's seen things. He's seen dead people where I don't. But what are your thoughts on tariffs? You think these will work?
So, no, I think I'm exactly where you are, except I have I wasn't this way in his first term. And President Trump and I have had a probably 30-minute phone call at one point, just the two of us talking about tariffs. And I went back and forth with him, and he got to the point, which I really respected. He got to the end of it. He's like, Glenn, you make some good points, but I'm just going to do it anyway. I just love tariffs. And I had respect for him. Most politicians go, you made a good point. I'm going to think about it and then just do whatever they want. So I don't like tariffs at all. However, if you are looking at the reciprocal tariffs where you're saying, OK, you charge me this for milk, then I'm going to charge you that for milk. We're going to have the exact same tariff that you have. And that way it's as close to a free market as possible. Now, what he's doing with the tariffs, I can't imagine this is going to work out well in the short run. However, again, I think he's earned the right to, run the country the way he believes is the right way. I mean, and with my support, not blind support, but with support, I think we should give him a chance, because what he's trying to do is bring manufacturing back here to the United States to rebuild our industrial base. And that has to happen if we're not going to be part of a global community. Mm-hmm. And we shouldn't. I mean, if you look what's happening over in Europe, they've gone insane, absolutely insane. And they are, I just was talking to an economist in Germany just a few minutes ago, and he was saying to me, Glenn, I don't think people in America really understand. Germany's being dismantled from the inside out. And yeah, everybody is. We were as well. Donald Trump is trying to put us back together. It's going to be a long road. And I think at least his plan of why he's doing tariffs, I can understand, and I think I can agree with. But I think it's going to be tough.
Pain first. I agree with you. Europe, Germany, England are wide open, and they're unrecognizable because of this wide open immigration that they've put upon themselves. It's kind of crazy.
Try this on for size, Eric. I just had Liz Truss on. She was former Prime Minister of England. She got on my show and she said, England is a failed state. That's a former Prime Minister in a foreign country saying that. Yeah. That I found astounding.
Do you remember when we were at Fox together, Glenn, where we said there were no-go zones for cops in certain parts of London? Oh, yeah. And they called us racist. They called us bigots and racists for those accusations. Now, London does it. You look at the pictures from evenings in London. It's a scary place. I'll give you a final thought.
It's a very scary place.
I don't want to keep you too long. I know you're very generous.
No.
Final thought. Do you think, this is staying on just back to the tariffs for 1 second, that Trump is saying that there's a lot of investment coming to the United States because corporations don't want to spend the money to export from their country into ours, so they're going to build manufacturing here? I guess that's the theory. Your final thought, Glenn?
I think that's true if he couples it with something like he said he was going to, or he was at least hoping, the 15-15-15. Move our income tax to 15% and really actually tax it. But if you're bringing your companies here to the United States, Let's be the most competitive. Let's do things that other countries won't do and create the jobs here. But you have to cut the regulation. You can have the tariffs, I think, tough for a while until you start to get that manufacturing back. But you have to cut the taxes, big on the corporations, the wealthy, and everybody. You've got to cut the taxes, and you have to cut the regulation. If you do those things, I think it'll work. It's going to be painful, but I think it'll work.
All right. I'll leave it right there. Glenn Beck. Folks, if you don't know this, sign up for Blaze. Everything Glenn does, it's really, really great content. It keeps you up to date on all the things we've talked about. Glenn, really good having you on.
And you're wearing the shirt.
And I'm wearing the Blaze. This is literally one of your shirts, the Gulf of America.
It is.
I've gotten so
Gulf
many
of
compliments.
America.
It's, by the way,
I love it.
It's really well made. I absolutely adore it.
Thank you. It's great.
It's wonderful.
I love it too. I love it too.
We'll someday you and I will wear our Gulf of America shirts together and
you got it.
Have a coffee or a cocktail if it's me.
Yeah.
Glenn, really good having you, brother. Thank you.
Best of luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Always good. Always good having Glenn on the show. He's really, by the way, he's come around to Trump. He wasn't always a pro-Trump guy, and he saw the success of the first term, and he's been there since Trump, certainly since Trump ran this time around. Just very quickly, this Tesla violence that's been going on, I want to show you this video again of these lunatics who are, they made these costumes of Tesla trucks, and they put fire on the side of them, and they're dancing to it. Listen, so they're dancing around. Take a listen a little bit.
It's like this and like that and like this and it's like that and like this and like that and it's like this and like that and like this.
Yuck. Kind of funny, I guess. And my good friend Susan says, "Oh, I'm going to do that for Halloween." But when you think about it, though, this is violent. This is light fires, Teslas on fire, innocent people. By the way, most of the people who bought Teslas prior to 2024, let's say, were probably liberal. They're probably looking to save the environment. They loved Elon Musk and Tesla until Elon Musk became pro-Trump. And then that TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, turned into Tesla derangement syndrome. TDS, folks. All right. Let's talk, if we can, a little bit about one of our sponsors. The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world. And with April 15th fast approaching, it's more aggressive than ever, the IRS is. In 2025, enforcement has ramped up. And if you owe back taxes or have unfiled returns, waiting is not an option. The longer you do wait, the worse it gets for you. Ignoring your tax troubles is the worst thing you could possibly do. Do you want the IRS on your back? No, you don't. April 15th marks another tax year that's passed you by. Getting ahead of this now is the smart move. But never, ever contact the IRS alone. Instead, let the experts at our friends at Tax Network USA handle it for you. Why? Because not all tax resolution companies are the same. Tax Network USA has a preferred direct line to the IRS, meaning they know exactly which agents to deal with and which agents to clearly avoid, with proven strategies to settle tax problems in your favor, whether you owe $10,000, $10 million, or $10 billion. Tax Network USA's attorneys and negotiators have already resolved over $1 billion in tax debt. Talk with one of the strategists today. It's free. Stop the threatening letters. Stop looking over your shoulder. Wouldn't it be cool to not have to worry about the IRS auditing you? Protect yourself from property seizures and bank levies. Don't let the IRS control your future. Call this number, 1-800-905-8000, or visit tnusa.com/RAV. April 15th, just around the corner, folks. Act now before the IRS acts first. All right, before we jump to one more thing, Colin, can I get the control room camera and voice of God, please?
Yes, Eric.
What do you think of Glenn Beck? You guys like Glenn Beck in there?
Interview.
You guys
Great
and gals,
interview.
yeah? You guys like Glenn? Trish, where's your hand? Executive producer, there you like it? All right, cool. Glenn's a great guy. True story. First a young guy, just never hosted a real show before. They tapped me to host Glenn Beck, which at the time was the largest audience on Fox News. And I sat in for Glenn. It was a great moment for me. So this brings us very much full circle. All right, folks, before we head to break, I wanted to remind you about my podcast and YouTube page. Both are updated daily with new content, stuff that we're not doing here. Yeah, a lot of the stuff we're doing here will go there, but also new stuff, things I can't really say on TV, cable TV, I can say over there. Gets a little, hairy at times, but that's okay. Tons of other content anytime, anywhere, but it's very important that you subscribe to the show, both on YouTube and also on podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We'd like to get you involved in everything. A lot of the stuff is a handshake. Cross Rav to there, to here, to everywhere, to Dish, to Roku, to Pluto, to who knows, maybe even Tubi soon. We'll be everywhere, folks. Bolling, we'll be back in 2.5. Well, look at that. Not sure if I'm starting it, but I'm going to start anyway because I didn't hear anyone in control, because that's Niagara Falls Live. And I think I see someone in a barrel going over the side right now. Oh, man, that's not going to end well. Just kidding. April Fools. Don't be fooled. All right, so you've heard me talk endlessly about Patriot Mobile for a reason and for a while now. You probably already know that for years, they've stood in the gap for every single American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for. They're the real deal. So let me ask you a question. Have you switched to Patriot Mobile yet? If the answer is no, then I have to ask, well, why not? Are you worried about coverage? Don't be. Patriot Mobile is one of the few cell phone service providers that operates on all three of the major cell phone tower networks. The fact is, if you have a cell phone service right now in this country today, you can get exceptional or even better service with Patriot Mobile. That's why they offer a coverage guarantee that others can't. Or maybe you haven't joined Patriot Mobile because you think making the switch is painful. I'm here to tell you it's not. In fact, it's easy. No need to spend hours in a retail store waiting your turn. Simply call Patriot Mobile's 100% US-based team from the comfort of your own home or office, and they'll have you activated in minutes. Still locked into a contract? Not a problem. Patriot Mobile's contract buyout program covers up to $500 per device. Keep your same phone number. Keep your own phone. Or treat yourself to an upgrade. Okay, back to my point. What are you waiting for? It's time to join Patriot Mobile today. Support faith, family, and freedom with every call and text you make. Don't wait. Do it now. Go to patriotmobile.com/RAV or call 972-PATRIOT. Use promo code RAV and get a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/RAV or call 972-PATRIOT. Alrighty, folks. Congresswoman, oh, this one's a freak. Wait till you see her. Congresswoman, I think, woman, not really sure, wacko, Rosa DeLauro has not been well for a long time. Years and years of toxic purple hair dye seem to have impacted her cognitive abilities because she sat down and recorded 60 seconds of absolute lies about Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Behold.
Do you care about how the government spends your money? The Trump administration just said you don't get to know. They illegally removed the website that shows you how your tax dollars are being spent. I think you have the right to know. That's why I made sure that the law requires that this information be made public. I did this to make Joe Biden accountable. And now Elon Musk and President Trump need to be held to the same standards. Now, we use this website to uncover that Elon Musk stole $41 million of your money. We use this website to uncover what Elon Musk and President Trump are stealing from farmers, from seniors, from middle-class families, from working families. No, the law is clear. They're going to lose. They're going to lose in the courts.
So, first of all, I think DeLauro, congressperson, woman, whatever, DeLauro better be expecting a lawsuit from Elon Musk because you can't go ahead and claim he stole $41 million from taxpayers. And first of all, he's got $400 billion, Congresswoman. You think he's going to mess around playing around with $41 million? It's like it falls out of his pocket accidentally, $41 million. Don't be an idiot, but expect a lawsuit. And I hope they do sue I hope they sue the purple hair off you. Other news, we have some shocking news from the mouth of Jasmine Crockett. She's apparently single. Shocker. Watch.
This is what I say. I say you got hoodwinked, and that's okay. That's okay. Because as I was just telling somebody just a minute ago, I have dated in my life. I know they've been talking about whether or not I'm married and all this stuff. I'm not married, never married, okay? Just want to get that out there. But I have dated. And I will say, any of us that have ever dated, we've been hoodwinked a time or two. Where we done sat there and we thought that he was going to be so great for us because he sold us on all the things, or her, okay? And then we realized that's where we are, and that's okay. What matters is that you wake up and you say, this is not the one for me.
So that woman's not married. Who'da thunk? An ACLU attorney really tried to claim that there are no biological dudes playing in women's sports in this country. None, he said. He, I think, again, these liberals, you can't tell what's a he or what's a she, but I think it's a he. Looks kind of like a he. But this guy says there's not one single male athlete competing in women's sports in this country. Has this soy boy been hiding under a rock for the past 5 years?
The policies that are claiming that transgender women in sports are men are wrong. The president is lying when he says that there are men impersonating women and participating in women's sports. There are no examples of men impersonating women that I am aware of. And it is incorrect to refer to transgender women and girls as men and boys. And what these executive orders do, what these laws do, is open the door to sex-based policing.
Oh, I see. So when a dude is a dude born with dude junk and is in women's sports but claims he's a trans woman, that, according to this ACLU attorney, says, well, that can't be a dude because he just believes he's... Hey, man, President Trump told you there's two genders in America, as he was... The first thing he said after he got sworn into president. This next clip is all you need to see to understand the absolute toxic insanity that has brainwashed the Democrats in this country, why they're losing every election, and will continue to because of this nonsense. This quote-unquote brave liberal took to her TikTok to explain the wicked thoughts that engulf her in her mind.
Found out today that somebody that I work with is a conservative, and he's somebody who's really intelligent, and he's somebody who works in climate tech as a super smart guy, somebody I would never have thought was conservative, and apparently he is. And it's surprising and it's disgusting. But what's most surprising to me is the level of sudden hatred that I have for him. Sudden hatred for this man who I used to respect suddenly just went boop, and I hate him now.
So she likes this guy. She respects his abilities, but because he's a conservative, she developed a hatred for him. This is what these lunatics are like. This is why they're torching Tesla dealerships around the country. They can't control their own emotions. You lost. Elections have consequences. You had garbage candidates running for president, Biden, then Kamala. You lost. Instead of hating us for winning, I don't know, try something different. Stop dyeing your hair purple and saying that Elon Musk stole money when he didn't. Or stop exalting absolute loser morons like Tampon Tim Walz, who's been very, very vocal lately as he continues to destroy the state of Minnesota. He just basically flipped off the White House, gave Trump the middle finger, and declared a day of trans visibility in the state of Minnesota. This clown, this absolute clown of a clown show clown, cannot stop flapping his big, fat mouth.
They can send out any damn executive order they want from Washington, D.C., because in the state of Minnesota, it's my privilege to make sure that I therefore declare Monday, March 31st, 2025, as Transgender Day of Visibility across the state of Minnesota.
So what is he doing here? What is he doing? He's the current governor of Minnesota. We call him Tampon Tim, obviously reasons because he put tampons in the men's rooms and in the public bathrooms in the state of Minnesota. He and Kamala got absolutely destroyed. We now know that maybe 2 million illegals had Social Security numbers, may have voted in the last election, and Trump still smoked them, just smoked the whole Democrat side, even with likely some fraudulent voting going on. And these people were running on stuff like transgenderism, Tampon Tims, putting tampons in boys' rooms, and yet they still want to double, triple, and quadruple down on this. As they say, if your enemy is digging a hole, don't take the shovel for him. By all means, keep digging your hole, dumbass Democrats. But I'll tell you, it's really infuriating because if they ever get back into power, you know where they're going. They're going exactly back to where they went. They're going to go right back to this whole woke DEI garbage, purple hair. You're a bigot if you believe there are only two genders. It's insane. These people are nuts. This next clip needs to be sent to the FBI. Again, they're delusional. These people are nuts. These enraged liberals are making some very serious threats from the comfort of mommy and daddy's basement. Here's another scary clip from a woman who's directly threatening to kill Donald Trump if TikTok gets banned.
If Donald Trump bans TikTok on April 5th, 5 days before I'm supposed to launch my jewelry brand in New York City, Luigi Mangione will look like a cakewalk next to me. You're telling me I invested 6 figures of my own coin, money I pay taxes on, to not be able to market it on this app? I'm gonna click my heels together 3 times, and if Kamala Harris doesn't appear in the White House...
Someone send a wellness check to that chick. I'm telling you, what the hell was that all about? All right, so but by the way, Donald Trump is the one who's trying to save TikTok for you nut job. Don't you remember Biden was the one who was pushing to have TikTok banned, and Trump saying, hold on, let's take a look at this. In fact, Trump stopped a court order to do that, all right? It's absolutely crazy. Where are you going with that? Why are we scrolling past? Where are we going? You done? You want to go? All right, they want me to go. All right, so before we head to break, though, I just wanted to remind you about my podcast and YouTube page, which are both updated daily. Let you hear the show, tons of other content, anytime, anywhere. Be sure to subscribe now so you don't miss out. 2 minutes back. Amsterdam I think they still call it the Netherlands, right? Because he used to call it the Ukraine, now it's Ukraine, but I guess it's still the Netherlands, no? What do you think, Colin? What do you think? Is it Amsterdam, Netherlands, or they still say
I've
the
heard
Netherlands?
the Netherlands, but the website just says Netherlands.
Just says but does the website say the Ukraine or Ukraine? Because remember, back in the probably before your time, old school is the Ukraine. They dropped the. All right, whatever. It's night there. A lot of crazy stuff goes on at night in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Earlier, we had a minute to talk to my good friend Glenn Beck about tariffs, and he and I agree on this. We're both libertarian. We agree on this. Take a listen. Here's my question. You and I are both libertarians. I'm on record saying I'm against this whole tariff thing. And, MAGA world doesn't like it when I say it, but I am. Everyone says trust Donald, which I do. I think he's seen things. He's seen dead people where I don't. But what are your thoughts on tariffs? You think these will work?
So, no, I think I'm exactly where you are, except I have I wasn't this way in his first term. And President Trump and I have had a probably 30-minute phone call at one point, just the two of us talking about tariffs. And I went back and forth with him, and he got to the point, which I really respected. He got to the end of it. He's like, Glenn, you make some good points, but I'm just going to do it ananyway. I just love tariffs.
So, listen, I hope it works. I really do. And Trump says Apple is going to bring $500 billion worth of manufacturing and business back onshore, which is great. This is all great news. If manufacturing gets a big boost from this is great. Again, though, the feeling is you feel it first a little bit in prices, which is normal, but then eventually the economic activity makes the country healthier, the economy healthier. Free market guy here. I say let markets be markets and they'll correct themselves. That's how we became the most powerful, the most successful, the richest, the wealthiest, the strongest country on the planet with our free market. But, Trump may know more. This one also, we have MTG. Marjorie Taylor Greene's a good friend of the show, a good friend of mine. And I'm really, really tired of this yappy Jasmine Crockett, the racist Jasmine Crockett, taking shots at MTG. Listen to the latest.
Do you worry about her? I mean, do you think she would never do anything physical, or maybe her supporters? I don't know.
I don't worry about her doing anything physical. I mean, people forget that I was a criminal defense attorney. So, there are those that are like, oh, look at her and that hood is coming at her. I'm like, I dealt with murderers. Like, I need y'all to understand, where this comes from. Like, I've always had to have a very strong sense of self because of the types of people that I would have to deal with as a criminal defense attorney. So, I think that I have a better gauge on who's a threat and who just talks. Marjorie likes to talk a lot. I don't see her ever being physical at all. Plus, I think that she may be concerned about what I could do physically.
I don't think you would stand a chance against Marjorie Taylor Greene, either in a octagon cage or on a debate stage. In fact, I'd like to broker that one. I've already offered you, Jasmine Crockett, and have people send you stuff that are following you and you're following them, have you send stuff of my invite to debate you any place, anytime, your topics, my cameras. But I would also moderate a debate between MTG. I think Rav should have an MTG versus Jazzy Jasmine Crockett debate. Well, I think this is a great idea. I don't know. We'll even go to the state of Texas, your home state. Jazzy Jazz, you up for it? I'm up for it. All right. I'll co-moderate it with, I don't know, Rachie Maddow or something. Let's do this. I say we do it. I'm all for it. All right, before we go, I wanted to point out that earlier in the show, we were showing that video. I mean, maybe you guys can pull it up, of the Tesla trucks on fire. And I told you my good friend Susan says she's going to be a Tesla truck for Halloween. My wife said, hey, just texted. She said, where's my shout out? And I said, well, baby, you can be the fire because you're so hot. I think that's what we do. We'll have Susan can be the Tesla. You can be the hot fire. Yeah, okay. I guess so. Am I okay now? All right. All right, guys, don't forget, Steve Bannon, The War Room is going to be hosted by Dave Bratt today. Great Dave Bratt. He's always great filling in for Steve. We'll catch Steve again tomorrow, perhaps. Actually, I think we're going to be not have a show tomorrow because that big Rose Garden Day of Liberation event is going to happen in the Rose Garden, allegedly at 4:00. So we'll bring that to you live as it happens. So have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is the primal scream of a dying regime. Pray for our enemies, because we're going medieval on these people. You're just not got a free shot on all these networks lying about the people. The people have had a belly full of it. I know you don't like hearing that. I know you try to do everything in the world to stop that, but you're not going to stop it. It's going to happen.
And where do people like that go to share the big lie? MAGA media. I wish in my soul, I wish that any of these people had a conscience.
Ask yourself, what is my task and what is my purpose? If that answer is to save my country, this country will be saved.
War Room. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Good evening. Welcome to the War Room. Dave Bratt sitting in with the great Stephen K. Bannon. And tonight in the A block, sitting in with the great Natalie Winters as well. The War Room is shooting on all cylinders. Never in my wild expectations, right? I was in Congress 10 years ago, so 14 to 18. The border invasion, Congress and the Senate really didn't lift a finger. The endless wars didn't lift a finger. The budget, the inflation piece, not too much. Today, President Trump and the White House is hitting on all cylinders. We're waiting for the House and the Senate to respond in kind. They're doing great work, but you have seen on this show, and only on this show, the scale and the scope of the resistance of the left. We get the football. We're trying to run down the field. The left blocks us every inch of the way. Deportation, 10